K1DBC, the DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations, please stand by. Hello and welcome back to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net for July 2nd, 2025. It's a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics in general, and thankfully we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. This is Kilo 1, Delta Bravo Charlie. My name is Daron, and I'm this evening's net control. Tonight we'll be taking your check-ins, comments, questions, updates, and more. We meet every Wednesday except the third Wednesday of the month at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on 145.490 and 448.625. You can contact us via email at elmer@w0tx.org or net@w0tx.org and on most social media at Denver Radio Club. We also stream and archive our nets on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. So if you'd like to see behind the scenes of the net or visual context, that is an additional way to participate in the net. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? All check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. That is the first letter after the number in the call sign. If you can, please try to use ITU phonetics at least for the call sign, and indicate if you have any traffic or questions as you check in. You can follow along with check-ins if you'd like, w0tx.org/check-in. With that, if your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Kilo 9, Bravo, Yankee Uniform, K9, BYU, Russell in Highlands Ranch.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. It might be a bit of a quiet evening during the due to the upcoming holiday, though. But with that, I'd like to welcome all to the following check-ins. K9BYU, Russell, thank you so much for checking in. With that, we'll open up the whole alphabet. We're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions. A through Z, please call now.
Kilo Echo 0, Sierra Uniform Mike, Jonathan, Lakewood.
All right, this is K1 at DBC Net Control. That time we had KE0SUM, Jonathan checking in over the air, and then we had Alex, KS0E, checking in online on our YouTube channel. Really do appreciate that. Once more, or another call. If you'd like to check in just for the counter, if you have any traffic or questions, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1 at DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. Again, this is a half an hour, an hour-long general Q&A about ham radio and STEM topics. If you're just tuning in and you'd like to check in, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Let us know your call sign, your name, and if you have any traffic or questions, please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. This one will definitely have to be one of the records of the least amount of folks that we've had checking in, but that is okay. I'm guessing it's due maybe to the upcoming 4th of July holiday in a couple of days. People might be taking some PTO off or maybe some traveling. So with that, I can certainly bring up a couple of things. Again, there's only just a few of us checked in. It might be a shorter net this evening, but we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. If anybody has any comments, questions, traffic, anything, please call now.
SUM, I have a question, Daron.
Jonathan, KE0SUM with the question. Please go ahead.
Are you going to tell us how field day went and what the attendance was, or did I miss that discussion last week?
No problem. It might be next week before we have those numbers in, considering it was just this past weekend. I think we had a few hundred in attendance. Maybe that's probably an overreach. It was maybe 100 to 200 over the last over the 2 days, maybe. Still tallying up all the contacts and points. I think by this Sunday night net, we'll have more concrete information. And have a bit more photos and whatnot on our website. I don't think we have anything uploaded just yet, but once we do, w0tx.org/field day, there should be a link to a Google Drive, and we'll have some photos in there, as well as the attendance numbers and points and things like that. So nothing just yet, though, but hopefully you were able to attend ours or in others and had a good time. But yeah, we'll let you know this Sunday and subsequently next Wednesday as well. But it was your usual suspects, people that attended in the past, have attended again this year. And can't thank everyone enough for helping out, setting up and tearing down. It was a real breeze this year and made things a lot easier. So we can't thank everyone enough for that. We did launch a balloon Sunday morning. It did travel less than it did last year. We did use a Mylar balloon this year. If you go to w0tx.org/track, TRACK, it'll take you to the webpage, Traquito, and you can follow along with the path. We launched it from the field day site, and then only about 5 hours later, did it basically come down, I believe. So a little bit unfortunate, but lessons learned, and we'll see what happens next year. With that, anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, or anything else on that, Jonathan, or anyone else on field day or anything else? Go ahead.
Yeah, Daron, the balloon launch was discussed on another net the other day, and found it fascinating since they put solar panels on top, a micro GPS transmitter on the bottom. So those solar panels must have been pretty light, and was the GPS and little transmitter, was that using a Pi Star, or how was that controlled? KE0SUM, back to net.
I am trying to find some photo here if we have one. Pete Sobansky is the one, AB8 Alpha Bravo 8 Whiskey November. He's the one that actually launched it. I thought we had some photos on our website of it, maybe from last year, but it had some very small, light solar panels on it, and let's see, it was doing wattage-wise 3.5 to 4 watts. It traveled up to 35,000 feet at one point, and then fell back down to 10, and then we lost it. As far as the gas, I'm not sure, and as far as the physical payload, I think it's there's this website Traquito TAQUITO.github.io, and they put up plans for Whisper WSPR tracker. So that is the tracker that is used. WSPR Whisper is what's being used to track these balloons.
So that doesn't require much of an antenna then?
AS0AS.
Excellent. That's the man himself. We also had checking in online K0BF Dustin. Or no, that was Dave, AF0AS, I believe. But it had a minimal amount of antenna. But I think we had also AF0AS. Dave, go right ahead.
Yeah, actually it has a pretty good antenna. It uses like 32 gauge wire. The transmitter solar cell assembly is hung from the balloon off fish line, and then the wire. So the upper support for the transmitter unit is the upper element of a dipole, and then hanging below the transmitter unit is the matching other half of the dipole. So it's probably 10 feet of wire on both sides. So not that bad. It's an Arduino Micro Mini Pico. I don't remember which one. The smallest one they make. And then it's got a Traquito designed backpack that solders onto it that has the GPS and the control unit in it. And that's the complete thing. So you basically end up with a couple of solar cells, the Arduino, and the backpack, and then 2 really thin wires as your transmit antenna.
Oh, that's great information. I appreciate it, Bo. What was my thought? Oh, what frequency were you transmitting on?
20-meter whisper channel.
Perfect. Thanks for the follow-up there, AF0AS. Yep, our balloon was over 20 meter, which was on 14.095.6, I believe. So that was what we had used. So thank you so much for the follow-up on that as well. And Jonathan or anyone else that's interested, if you Google Whisper Balloon Tracker and do a Google image search, it brings up some pretty good images of what ours pretty much looked like as well. Thank you so much for that follow-up, Dave. Anyone else on that, or Jonathan, any other follow-up on that? Go right ahead.
Yeah, sure. Yes, I was just going to comment because I was the one doing the tracking at the field day site. We had a DX Commander vertical up, and even with a 15-meter bandpass filter in, I was getting plus 25 dB, I think, reception right after launch, and even when it made it over past Buckley, I was still getting, I think, plus 13 dB through a bandpass out-of-band filter. was received, I believe, in both Florida and Alaska, before it looks like the balloon sprung a leak and it went back to Earth.
So when it took off, I understand, of course, I know where you activated in Arvada, but then it apparently flew out west a little over Taj Mahal before it headed back east.
That's correct. If you go look at the Tranquito map, it shows you can pull up the track it went. It flew a little bit west and then south, and then flew east, basically out Quincy, till it finally pretty much stayed Quincy in a little east-southeast track, till it finally hit its peak altitude, and then the next three spots, which are 10 minutes apart, it was falling, and that was the last tracking we had on it.
Well, I have an inquiring mind, so where did you get the balloon? I gather it's about 2.5 feet around. Is this a specialized Mylar balloon?
I don't have that information. You'd have to ask our balloon op. It looked like just a lightweight Mylar balloon. I know it is a standard, barely bigger than the ones they used to sell at the grocery stores, although they're much less common now. But it's just a silver Mylar balloon in this case. The hot balloons are actually a clear Mylar. That micro-inch of silver weighs a little bit, and they don't like, they want to get rid of that too. But yeah, I think he said he had 19 grams of lift on the balloon, but it ended up overinflating. Last year we used a latex balloon, and it inflated and grew so fast it made it up to altitude we couldn't determine because the Whisper Tracker firmware can only transmit an altitude to 70,000 feet, and it was well above that, possibly double that. But at that point, it was out of comm, and the tracking data was invalid because the altitude was limited by the reporting capabilities, AF0AS.
So it sounds like, the latex ones I've used, that's what they use for weather balloons, I believe. So that obviously worked really well. But Mylar's a good experiment. I remember Balloon Boy.
Affirmative. Actually, the Mylar balloons are used a lot for these experiments. The Pico balloons are the smallest ones, but their slightly bigger ham balloons look more like the stratospheric launches, where you have a large Mylar envelope with a little bit of hydrogen or helium at the top, and sort of a conical shape of loose Mylar underneath it when it launches, so it's just a bubble of gas holding it up, and then as it climbs up, obviously it inflates as the air pressure decreases. The problem is with a Mylar balloon, it can't stretch, so if you get too much pressure in it, its alternative to stretching is popping. AF0AS.
So, do you think that's what caused the balloon to come down, or you mentioned a puncture? You think a bird hit it, or what? Any idea?
Pete's thought was, it sprung a pinhole leak somewhere, and then just slowly started descending. And for reference, this one was launched with Party Store helium, which is not pure helium, so probably has some air in it. So not the best gas, and then the hot stuff, if you really do it, is chemically pure hydrogen, even more efficient lift, but much more expensive than cheap helium, even though helium ain't cheap.
Yeah, I can see if you're not using pure helium, it's not going to work as well. It's a little more expensive, but thanks for the information. KE0SUM.
There's no direct connection into it. You're just soldered into it to hold it.
Yep, that's just to keep
cool.
it solid. Extra connection point.
Right.
Oh, Drone's got a video up. I didn't realize how small these solar panels were.
the good news is they're really cheap. I think it's like $20 for 100 of them or something. Pete's comment was, and actually the comment from the Trachino instruction site is, you're going to break a bunch of them trying to put them together. They're so fragile. They're about the thickness of a microscope cover glass, if you think back to high school biology. So, way less than a tenth of a millimeter thick.
So, do you have to solder them together very carefully and then mount them?
If you go to the tracheto.github.io site, which is the Tracheto's main site, they've got pictures of it. They sell, well, actually, they don't sell. They have designed a printed circuit board mount that you take two of these really skinny, really thin circuit boards, solder one to the face of the 6 solar cells and one to the back, and then solder the two boards together, and you end up with 6 cells in series, and that becomes your power supply. Nominal voltage, I think, was 3 volts. We actually, on the climb out, hit over 4 volts. Even after one half of one of the 6 solar cells was broken off on launching because it bumped into somebody.
I'm watching Jerome's video, and for the size, I'm really impressed with the voltage they can put out.
Yeah, it's nominally half a volt per cell.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for the continued follow-up on that, Dave. Yeah, if you're watching that video, that person that's showing that is Pete, AB8WN. He's the one that put that kit together and should be on the Sunday Night Net to answer any other further questions. And we'll try to get these videos uploaded that we had recorded there. So thank you again so much for helping with that. And yeah, it's I guess we'll see what we'll do for next year, and hopefully we'll get even further than the last couple of attempts. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else? I am going to scroll through some of the photos I took, at least from field day on screen here. But anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else? Go right ahead.
Check in. Alpha Echo 0 Romeo Kilo for no traffic.
Good. No traffic.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I think we had a double there. Sorry about that. We had AE0RK Fred, and then there was one other person trying to check in. Go right ahead once more. Sorry.
November 0, Tango Roman Papa, Jim in Lakewood. No traffic.
All right, sorry about that. N0TRP, Jim, got you checked in. I guess with that, we'll take check-ins at the moment. If you're just tuning in and you'd like to check in, this is the Denver Radio Club Learning Net. Great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics. And we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. So if you'd like to check in just for the count, or if you have any comments or questions, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. Let us know your call sign, your name. And if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
Question, SUM.
W0TX repeater.
All right, not hearing any further check-ins, we'll throw it over to Jonathan again with a question, KE0SUM. Go right ahead.
I would love to have attended the last few field days, but I always work on Saturdays, such is life. But how many antennas did you guys set up? I heard DX Commander was set up. Anybody bring any others? And we're using bandpass filters to eliminate noise between the bands.
All right, good question. Yeah, sorry you weren't able to attend yet. It's kind of just luck of the draw on how that falls every year. 3 antennas, as we've done in the past, a few years at least. We have the Salvation Army 6-beam antenna, element antenna that we run, I think, on 20 or 40, I think, FT8 or single sideband, and then a DX commander, similarly for another band for either FT8 or single sideband. I can't remember which one it was. And then there was another antenna that was set up in a tree, and I cannot remember the type of antenna that was. But 3 antennas, 3 radios. We did have some bandpass filters set up to try to minimize any interference. Hopefully, let me see if I can bring up some more technical information. But if anybody has anything on that or anything further on that, Jonathan, go right ahead.
I guess AF0S, I'll fill that one in too. We had the Salvation Army 3-element beam on a rope-tator. That's a free-spinning mast with a rope tied to the ground off the end of the boom. That was our 20-meter voice rig. The DX Commander, although it's a 5-band rig, was in use for 15-meter FT8, FT4, and also the Tracchino 20-meter balloon tracking because it had a 20-meter element in it. And then for CW, we had a 40-meter rig that was a off-center fed dipole that was being run there. So we had IC7300s for CW and single sideband, and an FTDX10 that got swapped out due to some radio problems on Sunday morning for FT8, FT4 in the digital modes. All in all, worked pretty well. We did have, even with the bandpass filters, we did have a crosstalk between the 40-meter rig and the 15-meter rig, because it's a perfect third harmonic right into the FT8 frequency block. But fortunately, the radios were good enough that we did not get descents, even though we were smashing the front end pretty hard with the CW signals. AF0AS.
So another question is, there's a lot of extras on tonight, and I'm only a general. How often do you, when you were in field day, do you guys extras move into the extra band as compared to the general band? Since you have more frequency privileges, so you can go up and down a little higher. KE0SUM.
Great question there in terms of frequency usage, amateur or extra versus general. I think we just have band plans set up at the field day, and it shows which frequencies are available. And I think people kind of just troll those ones, and I think there's often an extra person sitting there, or a person with an extra license sitting there. So I think we're fine operating any bands or any anything that we need to, but I specifically actually don't know. That's a great question though. So I don't know if anybody has any comments or questions on that, but or if you have any follow up, Jonathan, go right ahead.
Well, it seems like in field day, when everybody's out and trying to make contacts, it only makes sense if you give me the radio and mic. If I was an extra, I'd probably look at the extra portion because I'd figure it'd be maybe a little less crowded. But I don't know if that's true or not. KU0SUM.
Great question. Yeah, field day often I'm just kind of running around with like a chicken with its head cut off, so I don't pay attention to some of the minutia on that, unfortunately. So, and I unfortunately don't operate too often at field day myself. So, yeah. Anyone else on that or anything else? Anyone else? Go right ahead. All right. Well, great question, and hopefully we can see you out there one year, Jonathan KE0SUM. Yeah, we had a great time. If you did attend ours or others, definitely submit us photos, and we'll try to get them up onto our social media and get them posted up. Or if anybody has any other further comments or questions on field day, it was great weather, extremely warm. I don't think we had any rain. But did a lot of contacts. So we had a lot of CW as again Orland's friend coming up from Texas and operating CW, which is great to see. Fairly well attended. Dick Nelson, N6WHV. He's the one that's continually putting this on, or for the second year in a row now, I believe. So Dick Nelson, N6WHV, cannot thank him enough for amazing amount of work and coordination to put this together, as well as everyone else who's volunteered to help with it. It's a really amazing coordinated effort. So comments, questions, check-ins, anyone else? Please call now.
0AS, just one quick comment. If you work Saturday, field day runs noon to noon, so there were a lot of us out there from 7 a.m. till noon on Sunday. Band conditions were better on Sunday, I think, than on Saturday. Of course, the band conditions got really good yesterday, but oh well, that's field day.
Okay, so say I had got to come in Maine. I've been to one other field day, but it was a long time ago. Say I came up and wanted to get on the air with Radio Time or other people. Do people set up their own antennas to make contacts? How do you make so many contacts if I'm sharing the mic with quite a few people? I'm just curious, how does that work? KE0SUM.
Great question. When we were up at the Chief Hosa campground 4 or 5 years ago, we did let people operate their own radios. We don't anymore just because of interference. We found that we were stepping over each other. So that's we kind of discontinued that. People might still do that, and we may not know it. They might be operating under their own call sign as long as it's not interfering with us. They can probably do that. There's only a few people that do stay overnight within their own vehicles. But for the most part, people are using our radios under our call sign. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense there. If you have further follow-up on that, go ahead.
0TX repeater.
Well,
Hey, yes, I'll just comment that having been there for about 14, 15 of the 24 hours, generally the issue was not too many people for too few radios. In many cases, the issue was, okay, who wants to work next? I've done this for enough. Can I get somebody else to operate this rig? So if you wanted to operate, there were almost infinite possibilities that you could get some radio time.
I stepped on your first half. Say again, please.
I was just going to say, the issue is usually not too many operators for not enough radios. In almost all 3 rigs this year, there were times where the radios were sitting idle because people were getting tired of operating because the way the club sets it up is it's 2 people per radio, 1 operating and 1 logging, except for the digital mode radios, which the logging's auto. So that means you need 4 people just to man 2 radios. It ends up that it's a lot of concentrating and, half an hour to an hour at a time. Most people want to take a break. So there's usually a, hey, does anybody want to run this radio? I could use some backup and I want to take a break. So there was really never a problem, I think, of anybody standing around that wanted rig time that couldn't get it.
Well, I can kind of equate that to doing a POTA activation or hunting. After an hour or 2, I'd like to move on, let somebody else do it. So, it sounds like a great setup. I'll take next year's Saturday off and get in line.
All right, sounds good. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, that was a perfect double there, but got both of you in there eventually. Thank you so much again for the follow-up, AF0AW or AS. Yeah, absolutely. It is a 24-hour event, and there are plenty of times when the radios do sit idle, so there's definitely lots of opportunity to operate whenever you want, really. And yeah, as mentioned, there's fatigue. It definitely takes a bit out of you doing this, so lots of opportunity to do so. So yeah, really do appreciate that. Yeah, and yeah, lots of cool stuff here to see. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else on that? Jonathan or anyone else? Please call now. We did actually have a comment in the YouTube chat here. From Dustin K0BF saying, for field day, try and stay in the general portion and try the 10-meter tech. Or he tried to stay in the general portion and tried 10-meter tech, but 10-meter was no good on field day. More of a contest, but anymore, he thinks it's a great weekend to get involved. So no matter what you operate on, yeah, it's just a great opportunity to get involved. So yeah, really do appreciate that. So yeah, anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, field day? Yeah, just this past weekend, your stories or comments or questions or your experiences or anything else, go right ahead. Okay, yep, so hopefully this Sunday we'll have some more information, at least on the points that we made, the contacts we made, and maybe some attendance numbers, things like that. So do be out on the lookout for that, and it'll definitely be emailed out and put onto our website as well. So again, another great year, and as soon as you know it, it will be New Year's, and then it'll be field day again. So don't let time make a fool of you like I have over the last 6 months. But anyone else, comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's Learning Net so far? We have another 25 or so minutes. Please call now.
Oh, I always have another question. KE0SUM.
No problem. Nothing heard at. Besides that, yeah, Jonathan, KE0SUM. The net is yours.
Oh, I was curious. Obviously, with Whisper, you're using very low wattage, but on your three main antennas on single sideband voice, what kind of wattage were you guys throwing out? Was this just barefoot or something better?
I believe we're running 100 watts, I believe. Unless someone knows otherwise, I believe we've been running 100 watts on these radios for the last few years over generator power. And this year we also had solar power as well. So 100 watts, though, I believe, unless someone can correct me or let me know otherwise. But yeah, 100 watts. Yeah, great question. Yep. And power-wise, we did run out of power a couple of times. I think we were only running one generator for the radios this year, a 1.7 kilowatt, I believe. Or no, that was a 1.7 kilowatt for the mess tent, and then a separate one for the radios themselves. Let's see what wattage that was if I can find. But yeah, as mentioned, we were using IC 7300 100-watt radios. So yeah, anyone else or any other further questions on that, Jonathan? Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Yes, just because I was doing a lot of the setup. Yeah, the CW rig was running off my 300-watt solar panel all day, both days, overnight. It was running off a 70-amp-hour battery backed up by the generator. The other two rigs were running off a portable battery pack that had 120 volt AC output, and we would charge it up for about half an hour and then run it for an hour and a half, just off battery power until it got down to about 25%, and then run the generator for another half hour and rinse and repeat. The only problem is that battery pack, when the generator's running, the AC outputs are directly fed from the generator. So if the generator hiccups, the radios get power cycled. So that was a bit of an issue. Maybe something to look into a little more next year. But yeah, we had one generator that we were actually moving back and forth between the mess tent and the radio power. The other generator that we had there was having issues putting out more than about 30% power. So we ran the batteries up and then moved the generator over to the mess tent, cooked our lunch and dinner, and then ran it back after food was served for both breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Now, you guys are just being very resourceful hams. So, how many watts does the solar? How many watts did the solar panel generate?
I just picked it up. It's a PowerWorks. It's their biggest one, so it's 300 watts at 12 volts nominal.
Oh, that sounds about right. That's a lot of wattage. Good for field day.
That was great. The batteries were 100% topped off all the time. I'm betting our average power consumption was right around 100 watts. Obviously, CW, you're only pumping full power while the key's down, so your average goes way down between listening and key uptime.
W0TX repeater.
Excellent. Thank you so much for the follow-up on that. Yeah, really quite resourceful. So yeah, I didn't realize we were moving that back and forth. So yeah, it worked out quite well. Pretty much everything, the generator, I think, ran out just as field day was ending. So we did quite well on that. So yeah, it was really awesome to see. So thanks so much for the follow-up on that. It was great to see that solar panel out there operating that battery pack, and that radio was awesome to see that actually can work. Very cool. Yeah, anyone else? We have 15 or so minutes. Comments, questions, check-ins, or anyone else? Dave or Jonathan or anyone else? Go right ahead. Okay, well, yeah, another great, successful year. As successful as that can be. It's always great to go out there and experiment and try to get radios up on the air and get things done. So yeah, another great success of a field day, another one in the books. So winter field day, we don't participate too much in that, but that's coming up in a few months if anybody is interested. Winterfieldday.org, I think. So we'll talk about that in a couple of months if anybody's interested. That's January 25th and 26th of 2026. So a few months away now from now, but something to look forward to. So anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far for this evening's Learning Net? Please call now. All right, and as always, check out reddit.com/r/amateur radio or Facebook or Twitter or any other social media. Plenty of photos being taken and shared around of other people's experiences and what their field days look like. So if you're ever interested in what field day looks like, there's plenty of photos and media out there to show you what ours or others looked like. So really cool stuff. So anyone else? 15 or so minutes still. Comments, questions, check-ins. Please call now. Okay, nothing heard. I certainly can bring up a story or two and might start to wrap the net up here. But again, just a couple days before the 4th of July, so might be a little bit of a quieter net. But we do appreciate everyone who has been able to check in and attend here. We can't thank you enough for helping us continue to run this net. With that, comments, questions, check-ins, anyone else? Otherwise, I can certainly bring something up. But anyone else, please call now. Okay, nothing heard. I can certainly read out an article, throw it back out to the group, and we'll go from there. Quick article here from hackaday.com. End of an era. NOAA's portal. Polar Sats wind down operations. Since October 1978, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has operated its fleet of Polar Orbiting Operational Environment Satellites, also known as POES, the data from which has been used for a wide array of environmental monitoring applications, from weather forecasting to the detection of forest fires and volcanic eruptions. But technology marches on, and considering that even the youngest member of the fleet has been in orbit for 16 years, NOAA has decided to retire the remaining operational POES satellites on June 16th. Under normal circumstances, the retirement of weather satellites wouldn't have a great impact on the community, but in this case, the satellites in question utilize the APT protocol, automatic picture transmission, low-rate picture transmission, and high-resolution picture transmission, all of which can be received by affordable software-defined radios such as the RTL SDR and easily decoded by software radio. Back in January, NOAA announced that it would soon stop actively maintaining the 3 remaining satellites, NOAA 15, 18, and 19. At the time, agency said there were currently no plans to decommission the spacecraft, and that anything they transmitted back to Earth should be considered data of opportunity rather than reliable source of information. Bit of a lengthy article here. NOAA's 18 early retirement. Let me drop for a moment. Skimming this article here, transmission power issues seemed intermittent. There was clearly something very wrong with radio, and there was no backup unit to switch over. The ground controllers quickly made the decision to decom NOAA 18 on June 6th. Due to their limited propulsional systems, POES satellites are unable to deorbit themselves. Let me see here. So there's no immediate plans to decommission 15 and 19. It's clear that the writing is on the wall, especially considered that issues NOAA 15 has had in the past. These birds aren't getting any younger, and eventually they'll go dark, especially now that they're no longer being actively managed. So does that mean the end of DIY satellite imagery? Thankfully, no. While it's true that NOAA 15 and 19 are the only 2 satellites transmitting the analog APT protocol, the digital LRPT and HRPT protocols are currently in use by the latest Russian weather satellites, Meteor M2 and 3, launched in June 2023, and 2-4 in 2024. So between that and the NASA GO satellites in geosynchronous orbit, hobbyists still have plenty to point their antennas at in the coming years. So a bit of a lengthy article I skipped over a bit, but satellites being decommissioned, but still plenty out there. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far for this evening's Learning Net? Please call now.
SUM question.
Yeah, Jonathan, KE0SUM. Go ahead.
Hope I'm not asking too many questions, but it comes back to field day. So you set up a tower with a 3-element beam, and I'm guessing it has a rotor on the top. So how often is the rotor moved or changed, and why? Is that up to the operators on the radio to decide? How is that determined?
Great question. Yeah, it is a rotatable antenna. If you are at field day or if you're looking at photos of it, there is a rope attached to it. The rope is attached to the back of it. It is often pointed to, I guess, the band of interest, and certainly if the operator wants to operate a different band, they might be able to do so as long as it's not interfering with any of the other radios. So I think it was rotated maybe once or twice throughout the event. As night fell, they may try to operate different bands. So I have seen that in the past where either in the morning or evening it has been rotated to start operating a different band. But we have rotated that in the past. I'm not sure if we did this year. I don't know if Dave has any further comments on that or anyone else if that antenna was rotated.
AS0AS, I'm not sure. I'm not positive on the antenna. I don't remember if it's a single band. It's three single trap dipoles. It was operated on 20 meters, a single sideband the whole event. The band was actually pretty hot. That was 20 meters was the hottest band of the three. Yes, it got rotated whenever they were trying for certain areas. When they heard traffic, we would rotate it east, west, northeast, southeast, and then occasionally Mother Nature would come up. Because it's not on a rotator, it's just sitting loose in a socket, and the rope is holding it. It's not braked or anything, so it's free to rotate if the wind picks up and wants to move it around. We did get a pretty good squall Saturday afternoon, and it pointed itself north, and then it had to get realigned. But yeah, when the operators felt like rotating it, either the operator or somebody would get told, point it this way, and then we'd wander over to the tower and move it and get the thumbs up and let it sit there for a while. AF0AS.
Well, Duran said something that made me curious. He said about frequencies, but as far as I know, a Yagi is directional and wouldn't be dependent. Is 20 meters a different point with a Yagi than in 20 meters or something else?
It was just a three-element beam, so you had a director, a reflector, and the driven element.
So generally, since, it was a couple different bands, so it was good on like 20 and 40.
Now, like I said, in this case, it was hooked up to our 20-meter SSB rig, so it never left the channel. It never left the band.
All right, thanks for the clarification on that. It was always on that one single band. I think it was just rotated for better reception and whatnot. So as that band changed with the gray line, I guess that would make sense. Okay, thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, no problem, Jonathan. Yeah, that's a great opportunity to ask about field day. So yeah, hopefully that answered that question. If you have anything further on that, go ahead.
Hey, Duran, do you know how many members are in the Denver Radio Club right now?
I'm going to see if I can get that number for you here in the next 30 seconds here. Over on our website, w0tx.org, if you're logged in, on the right-hand side, there is a directory and roster, which shows all of the active members, and we're showing 292, I believe, active paid members at the moment.
So, is Denver Radio Club one of the biggest, as opposed to the other clubs in the area? I was thinking of maybe a Castle Rock or Parker. And maybe you don't know that answer. It might not be a fair question. KE0SUM.
That is a great question. Unfortunately, I do not know. Mainly because I'm not a part of many other clubs. Maybe anecdotally, if someone was a part of another club, they might be able to have a good estimate. But I certainly don't have any rough numbers for any other clubs. But yeah, we certainly have quite a lot of members spread throughout the Denver metro area. Up to Fort Morgan, down to Manitou Springs, Montrose, Dolores, and then a couple of out-of-state members as well. But we definitely cover areas which other clubs might cover as well. So, yeah, as we've talked about, some clubs have consolidated or closed in the past and has some dwindling membership. So, yeah, we have a lot of members, surprisingly, and we're really only growing, quite frankly. So it's really awesome to see. So yeah, hopefully that answered that question. And again, there is a map on here as well that shows kind of the spread of where those members are at. So yeah, great question. Yeah, anything else on that, or anyone else? Go right ahead. All right, great questions. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, not a problem. And don't ever feel like, and this is to anyone, don't ever feel like you're hogging the net. If nobody else is speaking up, please don't worry about that. This is a great opportunity for anybody to chime in. So with that, anyone else? We have another few minutes. Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's Learning Net? Please call now.
SUM follow-up.
Yeah, go ahead with the follow-up.
Well, I'm glad to hear that Denver Radio Club is doing so well. Since I work at HRO, I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people come from the Parker Radio Association and the Castle Rock Association. Plus, we get quite a few from in Colorado Springs. But yeah, it seems like the Parker Radio Club is really active in amateurs, help their amateurs a lot. So I know those clubs are pretty much thriving. Back to that.
Excellent. That's great to hear. Yeah, we've heard great things about both those clubs and pretty much all the other clubs around here. Yeah, we have nothing bad to hear about any of them. So it's glad to hear that they're still around, still doing quite well. So yeah, parkerradio.org for them at least. So yeah, that's great to hear. All right, excellent. Anyone else? Another few minutes. Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far? We'll start to wrap the net up here in just a couple minutes. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else? Please call now. All right, with that, let's see. I don't often ask for this, but we really would like to see some more. I'd love to see other people acting as net control if you're ever interested for this Wednesday night Learn Net. It's myself and Jim N0TRP. He takes it once a month. So if anybody's interested, there's plenty of opportunity. Feel free to give me an email, shoot me an email. Elmer at w0tx.org if you'd like, or my call sign K1DBC at W0TX, or net at W0TX. Plenty of opportunity out there. If anybody's interested in running this Learning Net, I'd be more than happy to help you out, and it's a great opportunity to take a net, and fairly casual, as you can hear. So if anybody's ever interested, please don't hesitate to let us know. Back in the day, we used to have... before it shut down was Yahoo Groups. Larry Irons, K0LAI, would shoot out an email blast on there asking if people wanted to take net. Fortunately, we've kind of fallen by the wayside on that. But if anybody is ever interested, please don't hesitate to shoot me over an email, and we can get you set up. With that, last minute or so, any last minute comments, questions, or check-ins, please call now.
Yes, I was just a comment that SUM, don't feel like you're monopolizing the questions. I got a feeling you're asking questions that a lot of other people want the answers to anyway. AS0AS.
Thank you. I do have an inquiring mind, and ham radio is kind of a passion for me because I live it and work it. Antennas are the thing I'm obsessed with, but thanks for the compliment. KU0SUM.
W0TX repeater.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. A phrase I remember hearing in school in my youth was, if you're thinking of a question, probably other people are as well. So yeah, that is awesome to hear, and not a problem at all. So yeah, I really do appreciate that. So with that, we'll probably start to wrap the net up. Yeah, last minute check-ins or comments or questions, please go there. Okay, nothing heard. We will wrap the net up. Can't thank everyone enough as well for continuing to attend, continuing to participate in our nets and our events and our meetings and things like that. It's honestly what keeps our club moving. So we really do appreciate that. We had a total of 8 check-ins this evening. I'd like to thank everyone who participated. Thanks to Denver Radio Club for allowing us to use their repeaters. Join us on the third Wednesday of the month, 6 p.m. for an Elmers session prior to the regularly scheduled Denver Radio Club meeting at 7. These take place online, w0tx.org for more information on that. Still to be announced for this month's meeting topic. With that, though, we're meeting again next week. Join us next week, 19:30 hours, 7:30 p.m. for the next Learning Net. This is K1DBC 73, and I will be clear. Have a good evening.